The Destitute Garrison biome is probably one of my favorite biomes in all of Glacium. Just because it has so much lore going on behind the scenes. This is kind of like the capital city, the central base of operations for the Frostkin. That's why there's such a high population of hostile mobs here. And I'm also a fan of these walkways. They make travel, at least on foot, convenient, in theory. In practice, maybe not so much because there are so many mobs here which will not hesitate to knock you off the edge. And let's just hope that you have maybe some feather falling equipped, because it's going to hurt in more ways than one if you do fall off the edge. But what I really wanted to do here was showcase how I do custom mob spawning in the Bracken Pack. Because with data packs, you're severely limited with how you can do custom mob spawning. You're stuck with using the same vanilla mobs that Minecraft makes, and you're kind of limited, especially when it comes to mobs that wear equipment. So what I'm kind of forced to do is to start with certain mobs, like say a skeleton, and then change it up so it becomes something different, so it's no longer a skeleton anymore. And there's two techniques I mainly use, and I'll show you how I do the techniques. This first technique uses a data merge command. So every time a skeleton spawns, its data gets changed, and it turns into something else. It turns into a spearkin. So it has custom armor, custom weapons, a custom face texture that kind of sells the player to the best of my power that it's no longer a skeleton, it's something different. And that also works on strays too. Every time a stray happens to spawn naturally, it gets changed and becomes a bowkin. So it has a weapon. Instead of chasing the player with a spear, it tries to hit them with a bow. And in addition, these two custom mobs are also given a tag, which kind of gives them an immunity, because I don't want the game running over and over again, modifying the same mobs. Once a mob gets modified once, it receives this tag, and it no longer is detected by the game. It's not modified over and over again. I have a second technique, though, which I do where, well, let me just show you. So if you saw what happened, there was briefly a zombie villager that was summoned in, but then disappeared. So I have a command which teleports it into the void. Every time the game detects a zombie villager, it gets sent away, teleported into the void as fast as possible so the player can't see it. And in its place, in its exact position, a pair of mobs is summoned. So you have the bow, or the riderkin, and the mount that he rides on. They're summoned in the exact same position as that zombie villager. And, you know, it's not perfect. You can still see it for a brief moment, but I'm trying to make it as seamless as possible. That's the kind of problem with data packs, is the faster you run functions, the more lag that happens. And especially with data modifying commands, these commands can use up a lot of space. They can kind of have a high impact. So you have to kind of use them in a smart way, in a sparing way, where it doesn't break immersion, but at the same time it doesn't make the game lag. That's how I do the wither skeleton too. Every time a wither skeleton spawns in, it gets its data modified, so it becomes a slayerkin. So it becomes shorter, it becomes faster, it gets custom weapons and a custom face. It doesn't look like a wither skeleton anymore. It's something completely different, as close as I can get within data packs to making a custom mob, or something entirely unique. Maybe with future updates, Mojang will allow greater flexibility with making your own mobs, but until then I'm kind of stuck with this.